Three players just swiped Liverpool's starting place as Arne Slot unlocks ideal formula. Arne Slot made his Liverpool team look much more solid and controlled against Eintracht Frankfurt, and he must now repeat the trick against Brentford on Saturday. After a dire run, Liverpool needed to get back on track quickly. And with an emphatic victory over Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League, if that doesn't instill confidence, what will? Arne Slot is sweating on injuries to Jeremy Frimpong and Alexander Isak after the summer arrivals both picked up issues in the first half at the Deutsche Bank Arena. But the Liverpool boss saw plenty of positives too as his losing streak ended. Florian Wirtz got his first assists in a competitive game for Liverpool. Hugo Ekitike took his goal very well and was excellent again, and the Reds' attack finally found its groove. What that means for Mohamed Salah, who has been out of form and found himself out of the team here, remains to be seen. Ryan Gravenberch, too, was missing through injury, but will return to the starting 11 when he is fit again. But the changed Liverpool not only got a positive result, but also responded well to going behind, and put in a calm, composed and fundamentally cohesive showing. Eintracht Frankfurt didn't look up to that much, even if it beat Galatasaray 5-1 earlier in the competition, but Liverpool still had to put in a performance after a tricky run. And having done so, multiple players who came in should keep their places. Hugo Ekitike of Liverpool speaks to the media in the flash interview after the team's victory during the UEFA Champions League 2025-26 League Phase MD3 match between Eintracht Frankfurt and Liverpool FC at Frankfurt Stadion. Ekitike not only scored but also put in another strong effort across the course of the game. With news that Isak has a groin issue, hence why he was forced off at halftime, he should arguably be the first name on the team sheet at Brentford this weekend. Closely behind him should be Curtis Jones, who replaced Alexis Mac Allister here. In addition to being a strong runner, he barely gave the ball away and injected considerably more balance into the side. Jones completed 122 of his 127 passes on the night, the most by a Liverpool player in a single Champions League game since Opta began taking records in 2003-04. With Mac Allister struggling for form after coming back from an injury that kept him out for much of the summer, going with Jones for a spell is now a no-brainer, starting with Brentford. Similarly, Andy Robertson took his chance. In for Milos Kerkez, a player whose early season struggles have been slightly exaggerated, but who has certainly not been at his peak, the Scotland captain seemed determined to leave an impression. Content with sitting back and offering an extra defensive buffer, Robertson's inclusion in the team went a long way to helping restore calmness in the Liverpool team as well. In the long run, Isak, Kerkez and Mac Allister will be mainstays of the best Liverpool starting 11 that Slot can select. Each is individually too talented for that not to be the case. For now though, the Dutchman has found a winning formula. As Liverpool looks to keep pace with its league title rivals, the Reds have the ideal template to replicate. African Player of Year shortlist revealed as PSG's Hakimi and Salah lead the way. The 10-man shortlist for the 2025 African Footballer of the Year award has been revealed this week. Previous winners of the prestigious award include the likes of Sadio Mane, Senegal, in 2022, Victor Osimhen, Nigeria, in 2023, Ademola Lookman, Nigeria, in 2024, Mane once more in 2019 and Mohamed Salah, Egypt, in 2017 and 2018. The full list of this year's nominees goes as follows. Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa, Napoli and Cameroon. Dennis Bouanga, Los Angeles FC and Gabon. Serhou Guirassy, Borussia Dortmund and Guinea. Achraf Hakimi, Paris Saint-Germain and Morocco. Oussama Lamlioui, Renaissance Berkane. Fiston Maïl, Pyramids and DR Congo. Iliman Ndiaye, Everton and Senegal. Victor Osimhen, Galatasaray and Nigeria. Mohamed Salah, Liverpool and Egypt. Pape Matar Sarr, Tottenham Hotspur and Senegal. Osimhen won the 2023 African Player of the Year award after helping Napoli win the Italian Serie A title, whilst Lookman helped Atlanta to their first European trophy in 2023 as they lifted the Europa League. Mane won the award in 2023 after he won the Africa Cup of Nations with Senegal in February, scoring 3 goals and providing 2 assists on the way to the final. Salah picked up multiple awards for his performances for Liverpool and Egypt, which included an AFCON final, a Champions League trophy and Premier League title. Salah and Hakimi and the favorites for the award, and odds favor the Moroccan who won the Ligue 1 title, Champions League, Super Cup and Coupe de France title. Hugo Ekitike explains refusal to celebrate milestone Liverpool goal. I have so much respect. The Liverpool star scored the equalizer for the Reds against his old club as they went on to win 5-1. Liverpool striker Hugo Ekitike declined to celebrate after finding the net against his former club Eintracht Frankfurt during Wednesday evening's commanding 5-1 Champions League triumph, which brought an abrupt halt to the Reds' concerning four-match losing sequence. The French forward, who transferred from the German side earlier this year, maintained a respectful stance after his 35th-minute equalizer at Deutsche Bank Park. "I have so much respect for Frankfurt. They made me the player I am, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't go to Frankfurt. I am respectful and grateful for what they did to me," Ekitike explained to TNT Sports following the match. His composed finish, racing onto Andy Robertson's defense-splitting pass before calmly beating goalkeeper Michael Zetterer, marked his maiden Champions League goal and proved the catalyst for Liverpool's remarkable first-half transformation. The hosts had seized control after 26 minutes when Rasmus Christensen's strike found the net via the far post, capitalizing on Liverpool's defensive vulnerability following a midfield turnover. The goal marked the 18th conceded by the Reds in just 13 matches this campaign. Yet Ekitike's breakthrough sparked an extraordinary 9-minute blitz that completely reversed the match's trajectory. 4 minutes after the Frenchman's leveler, captain Virgil van Dijk rose to meet Cody Gakpo's corner delivery, powering a header past Zetterer. The visitors' set-piece dominance continued as Ibrahima Konate added a third just before the interval, the centre-back climbing highest to convert another corner. Arne Slot's tactical gamble of pairing Ekitike with Alexander Isak in attack for their inaugural start together ultimately paid dividends, though the partnership lasted only 45 minutes. Ekitike reflected on his special homecoming, telling TNT Sports, "It was a great feeling to come back to Frankfurt. It was something special to come back home. To win and score my first Champions League goal here was important." The 22-year-old detailed his finishing technique for the crucial equalizer. "I just keep it calm and cool. I knew he would come and open his legs, so I put it between the legs and that worked." Regarding his developing partnership with Isak, Ekitike acknowledged room for growth whilst praising his strike partner, adding, "I think it was good. We can improve together and he is a very good player. We need to work together and find a good association. I have very good teammates, staff, and I love my life here. I hope I can keep going because it's about consistency in football. I feel really good and they have helped me a lot. That is why I am calm and doing my thing." Hugo Ekitike was at Frankfurt for a year and a half after a loan spell from PSG was made permanent in 2024. Liverpool's dominance extended into the second period as Cody Gakpo converted Florian Wirtz's square pass before Dominik Soboslai's thunderous long-range effort completed the rout in the 70th minute. The comprehensive victory provides crucial momentum for Slot's squad ahead of Saturday's Premier League encounter with Brentford at Anfield. The Dutch manager's decision to rest Mohamed Salah proved justified as his side rediscovered their attacking fluency. Latest sports news. Captain Van Dijk dismissed suggestions the result represented a statement, maintaining perspective on the team's recovery. "I don't know if it's a statement, but it is a win and something to build on," the defender told TNT Sports. "We don't get dragged into the negative things that are going around. The only way you can play your game is to focus on the task ahead. Keep going. Don't get dragged into all that stuff." Newcastle boss how delighted with Gordon in victory over Benfica. Newcastle boss how delighted with Gordon in victory over Benfica. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe admits he's baffled by the contrast of their form in England and in Europe. Newcastle thumped Champions League opponents Benfica 3-0 on Tuesday night. Anthony Gordon gave Newcastle a 1-0 lead before Harvey Barnes struck twice after the break. Afterwards, Howe said, "It's a real head-scratcher. We know they are good players. When we see us playing like tonight and attacking like that, it's hard to figure out." It was great to see Gordon and Murphy combining for the first goal. Anthony was very direct and athletic. It was a very good night for him. But we must continue this kind of performance. It's the level we want to reach. Our forwards have regained confidence tonight. He added, "It wasn't an easy game. Benfica have an incredible European pedigree and have a manager who has been there and done everything. Even in the first half, we created some great chances, but we had to be patient to score the first goal. We scored 3 superb goals and were a constant threat throughout the match." Nick Woltmade sends message to Anthony Gordon after Newcastle United win over Benfica. Newcastle United saw Anthony Gordon find the net once again as Eddie Howe's side beat Benfica 3-0. Anthony Gordon is certainly enjoying himself in the Champions League this season. Gordon scored against Barcelona in Newcastle's first game of the league phase, before then bagging a brace against Union Saint-Gilloise. Gordon was the man of the match in Jose Mourinho's eyes as he scored the opener in Newcastle's 3-0 win over Benfica. Harvey Barnes added a brace to hand Newcastle the victory and a second win in 3 Champions League games. Nick Woltemade sends message to Newcastle United star Anthony Gordon. Newcastle's wingers have struggled for Premier League goals, but they certainly turned up against Benfica. Gordon notched a goal and an assist, Barnes scored twice, and Jacob Murphy set up Gordon's first-half strike. England international Gordon was the star of the show, and he took to Instagram after the final whistle to celebrate. "UCL nights at SJP," said Gordon, as he posed with his Man of the Match award in his hands. Newcastle star Nick Woltemade replied with just 3 words, stating, "Great game, twin." We have to point out the height difference between the pair, but we can see some similarities in terms of their hairstyles. Woltemade didn't find the net himself, but he clearly loves playing with Gordon and loved the winger's performance against Benfica. Newcastle teammates respond to Anthony Gordon. Woltemade was not the only Newcastle player to send a message of support to Gordon. Midfielder Joe Willock said, "World-class brother," and Bruno Guimaraes simply stated, "MVP." Jacob Ramsey and Jacob Murphy posed emojis in support of Gordon's display, while Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers sent a love heart emoji. Gordon can be very pleased with his performance on Tuesday night, but must now take that form into Premier League action. Starting with this weekend's clash against Fulham. Arsenal net 4 goals in 13 minutes to blow Atleti away. Gyökeres ends goal drought as Arsenal thrash Atletico Madrid. Victor Gyökeres ended his goal drought with a brace as Arsenal earned a stunning 4-0 win against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. After both sides struck the crossbar, Gabriel Magalhaes headed home the first of Arsenal's quartet in 14 scintillating second-half minutes. Gabriel Martinelli added a second with 64 minutes gone before Gyökeres landed a quick-fire double in the 67th and 70th minutes to leave Diego Simeone's side shell-shocked. Atletico had scored 7 goals in their opening 2 Champions League matches, but rarely looked like threatening Arsenal's back line as Mikel Arteta's men recorded a 3rd clean sheet in as many games in Europe and a 4th in a row in all competitions. They have conceded just 3 times in 12 matches this season. Arsenal joined defending champions Paris Saint-Germain and last season's beaten finalists Inter Milan on 9 points from the 9 available and on course for the knockout rounds. Arteta's side set out their stall for a rapid start and might have been ahead inside 5 minutes. Ebereki Eze created space for himself on the edge of the area, with his resulting strike looping off David Hanko's ankle and over goalkeeper Jan Oblak. However, the crossbar denied Eze a first Champions League goal before Declan Rice thudded the follow-up into the ground and over. Eze was involved again with 19 minutes gone with an eye-of-the-needle pass to Bukayo Saka. The England winger beat the on-rushing Oblak to the ball, but the goalkeeper did just enough to divert his dinked effort away from danger. David Raya then presented Atletico with a chance when he needlessly delayed clearing the ball by the corner flag, but Julian Alvarez's long-range effort sailed just wide of his far post. The offside flag came to Atletico's rescue when Martinelli converted Saka's cross in the minutes before half-time. Moments after the interval, Alvarez was given time and space to turn on the edge of the box. His fine curling effort had a diving Raya beaten, but it was the home side who were saved by the woodwork this time round. Then came the goals. Martinelli won Arsenal a free kick on the touchline and Rice's sumptuous set-piece was begging to be converted, and an unmarked Gabriel did not disappoint. Arsenal's second came from a fine driving run from Miles Lewis-Skelly, who has been on the periphery so far this season. The teenager picked up the ball in the center circle and drove forward, taking 4 Atletico players with him, before finding Martinelli. The Brazilian had the time to curl his shot into the far corner, and the hosts had doubled their advantage. That then became 3 when Gyökeres ensured his streak without a goal for club and country did not extend into double figures. Eze failed to volley home Martinelli's cross, but the ball fell to Gyökeres, who managed to dig out his shot which deflected in off Hanko's heel. Remarkably, Arsenal, and Gyökeres, had another 3 minutes later. Rice's corner beat everyone bar Gabriel at the back post, and the Brazilian's header was bundled in off Gyökeres' stomach. The Sweden international had gone 38 days without scoring but now had 2 goals in 3 minutes. Simeone was deflated on the touchline while Arteta oversaw his side's 6th straight win of a season which is promising to deliver so much.